guys, this is Stormouse03. Welcome back to my 100% walkthrough for Prey. We are in episode 5, back in the lobby, and we're going to be heading through Psychotronics. Going to do a quick stat check here to show you guys where you should be. So we have 26 types of food and drink consumed. Remember that that might be a little bit off depending on some random item locations, but just believe me when I say that you should not have any problem finding those things. There are a couple of items that are kind of more difficult to find, and I'll point those out when we get to them, but don't worry too much about that. Just keep track of it by looking at the checklist in the description. Check those off when you find them. We have 72 crew and visitors located, 71 emails read, 16 transcribed messages listened to, 1 Starbender book read. We've also listened to 2 messages from Morgan and found 3 black market drops. And so that is where we are right now. And so I'm gonna go and drop a couple of items off in my office. And do remember that even though we're doing a no upgrades playthrough, we are going to be making a save later on in the game and then upgrading and getting a bunch of the random achievements. And so you do want to be keeping things like neuromods and weapon upgrade kits and spare parts and all that kind of stuff that you will need to do those achievements later on. You do want to keep those things. And so just be aware of that. So we're going to drop those things off in our cabinet. And I'm not going to be taking the Q-beam right now. Although that is a really good weapon, I'm not going to be taking it with me just because we have limited space. I am going to be taking this Huntress Boltcaster because we're going to need that to be able to get into a couple of the rooms that we're going to want to get into. I think I forgot to drop off, our spare parts. Good deal. So another thing that we're going to do before we leave this area is go and check on Trevor J. Young. You just want to make sure that he's still alive before you leave the area, because we're going to need to come back and do some abilities on him later. So there he is. He's still here. There's really nothing that should kill him or go wrong, but you just want to check and make sure that nothing sinister has happened to good old Trevor. Because when we come back way later in the game, we are going to be using him to get a couple of achievements or trophies to use some specific abilities on a human. And he's a really easy person to do that with, and so that's why we're sort of keeping him locked up and keeping him alive in there. Well, we're keeping him alive because of the do no harm achievement that we're going for, but the reason why we haven't unlocked the door and knocked him out yet is because we want to do that later after we have used him for those achievements. If you aren't going for all of these achievements or trophies at once and you don't care about getting the Split Affinity one, you could make a save here and come back and kill everybody in order to do the I and It achievement or trophy. So you could do that if you wanted to, but that's not what we're going to do. If you did though, that is the place to make a save. We're going to do a whole nother playthrough for killing everyone, and so I'll show you where people are to kill. Trevor is the first one that you'll do in that playthrough, just like you would if you reloaded a save here to do it, but I'd recommend doing a completely new playthrough so that you can get that Split Affinity achievement or trophy without doing another full playthrough. So that's my advice, and we're going to carry forward. So this is going to be Joel Weeks. He is going to be crew member number 73. And we're going to head on through Psychotronics, or to Psychotronics. Okay, so we are now in Psychotronics. You want to be careful coming through here because there's going to be this electricity.
Psychotronics is the opposite of safe, Morgan. What are you after? Someone's helping you. Is it Michaela? Elazar?
I can eavesdrop on your brother's messages.
Okay.
We're in agreement on this one. Get through this place fast as possible. You're looking for a maintenance airlock to a utility tunnel called the Guts. It'll take you all the way to the top of the station.
Okay. So you drop down into this little pit to find Otto Lauda, who is crew member number 74. And there is a mimic down here, as you saw us murder. And so you just want to be aware of that. Take it out. And then we're going to head on this way. So there's going to be another mimic in here. I saw you, buddy. Okay. Now in the bathroom, there's going to be another named phantom. His name is Crispin Boyer. So we want to take him out. Generally, he's hiding around this corner here to the left. Okay. And we have another mimic in here as well. Okay, so Crispin Boyer, and that will be crew member number 75. Also in this bathroom, there are a lot of sinks that you can use to replenish your health, and some soap that you don't really need to pick up, but I did anyway. And there will also be, on this shelf right here, our second Starbender book. And so this is book 3, Spatial Delivery, and it's the second one that we have read. And so after we take a look at that, you should see that your stats reflect that. It's the very bottom stat. So now we have 2. We're going to head around the corner here into the other bathroom, and we're going to find crew member number 76, Allison Brady, right here. And drop down here, there's this med kit, and there are going to be several mimics that pop through that goo, and so you just want to be aware and careful. So we've taken care of one of them. That's number 2. There are 3 or 4 of these guys. And they love to hide as these crates and things. So I don't know where the other ones have buggered off to. However, we're about to get something that will help us find them. So here is Janos Joseph, who is crew member number 77. He will have a psychoscope, which you will automatically put on once you pick it up. And from now on, you have the ability to scan enemies. We're going to go ahead and scan this mimic right here.
Apart from Neuromods, it's the most important tech on Talos 1. Use it to scan the Typhon organisms if you want to learn what makes them tick. You invented it, by the way.
There's also going to be a mimic detection chipset on this guy, and so we're going to put that on. We've also found this, so we'll go ahead and put that on. I don't think that's a super useful one, but you know, whatever. But that allows us to detect hidden mimics, which is very, very nice. So from now on, you want to make sure that you scan enemies until you've completely researched them and unlocked all of the abilities. That's going to allow us to get some of those achievements where we need to be able to purchase those abilities later on. So it's helpful if you go ahead and research them. So, we have a mimic here. I'm not even sure what it was hidden as, but there it was. It's also going to be a phantom up there. We're not going to worry about it just yet. So we're going to scan this mimic here. And you'll notice that it just said that mimic matter is available. And so that means that you can purchase this neuromod now, which we're not going to do because we're continuing our playthrough where we're not getting upgrades, but it's one that you'll need to have later on. And so that's the reason why we're scanning all of these things. So you do want to make sure that you scan all of the enemies that you come into contact with, if possible, until you've fully researched that particular enemy. So we're going to scan this phantom. Okay. So we've taken out the phantom. And we're going to head on through here. Our next crew member, number 78, Stephen Mueller, is going to be right here by the lifts. You can also scan these operators. You don't really need to do that, but you can. And so now a good way to get research on these phantoms is to remove the blast shields or the containment shields on these things. There's not one in there, I guess. Okay. So now we've got Kinetic Blast 2, which is awesome. We can take this off for a minute. I find it more difficult to see with that on. So I'm going to go ahead and bust open these windows. And we're going to want to put some glue on this so that we can read Hans Kelstrup's emails, Time to Talk, Takaji's injury, telepath rejection, and status report Takaji in 37. Those are the next 4 emails, so that's 72 through 75 on Hans Kelstrup's computer. And then you also want to take a look at Hans Kelstrup, grab his cabin and office key cards off of his body. You can look at this footage, but it's not necessary. And you should have the key code to his safe. Yep, so Hans Kelstrup is crew member number 79. You'll notice that there's a mimic right here.
If you scan enough Typhon organisms, you'll be able to install neuromods that are powerful, but they're the reason we're in this mess. For one thing, the station's defensive turrets will identify you as an alien threat. There might be worse consequences I can't yet see. I don't want you to lose yourself.
Alright, so we're going to scan this mimic. There we go. Now we're going to kill it, hopefully. Here we go. Okay. And we can come around here to this recycler and recycle some of our junk items. And you want to make sure that you're careful coming over here, and you want to really hug the recycler so that you don't get electrocuted. You can also turn the electricity off. So I'm going to go ahead and use this to open the door. You can also allow access to the conference room so that you can get down there and use your key card. And then you can turn off the power if you don't want to worry about getting electrocuted. When you walk down here, you're going to be able to pick up our next transcribe.
Calvino, what did you do to my conference room? Yes. I was just about to call you. All I see is a dot. Yes, that's right. It's the calibration system for the new touchscreen. You only have to run it one time. Are you kidding me? Just follow the dot. When it turns green, touch it. It should... Damn it, Calvino, I do not have time to play sing-along with your bouncing ball. I'll call you back.
Okay, and so we have a second one to listen to off of that same transcribe.
We need to talk about Annalise Gallegos.
And that is it. So that will be transcribes number 17 and 18. Now you can do this thing, but it will just make a phantom in here for you to have to kill. So I'm not going to worry about doing that. If you want another phantom to scan and kill, then feel free, but there's going to be plenty of those when we move farther in this area. Okay. I'm going to actually turn the power back on here because I want to use the recycler. And like I said, as long as you hug the edges, you shouldn't get hit by that electricity. But just be careful in there. So now we should have scanned enough things to be able to get through this door.
Dr. Yu. You probably didn't see me there.
And then we're gonna go upstairs here. Okay, so there's lots of things to do in here. So in Labs B, we have some more mimics. And we have lots and lots and lots of notes.
Scan complete. New psionic aptitude available.
This mimic went through the wall. Don't hide, mimic. Don't hide. There we go.
Completed. More specimens required.
So there's different things that you can pick up in this room, but most of the things in here are just notes. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we can scan our turret here.
Search complete.
Can scan this mimic here.
Scan complete.
And so that's our mimics and phantoms both.
New psionic aptitude available.
Come here. Mimics and phantoms all fully upgraded, researched. Okay. Right. So we're going to come in here. The phantom has buggered off. So we're just going to smash some glue. And we're going to read our next 3 emails. So, emails 76 through 78 are on Helen Barker's computer. Thank you, Mimic. I needed that. So, Helen Barker's computer, Barker Combs, excuse me. Status report 37, re 37 suicide watch update, and encephalectomy. So that is that. There's our phantom. Hello. Kill the phantom. Here we go. And so our next crew member, Rory Mannion, is right here. So he's crew member number 80. And he also has Transcribe number 19, which we're going to listen to.
I can hear the weaver through the walls. Son of a bitch is gloating, I know it. How are you holding up?
I dropped a couple of nightlights to lure the phantoms away. Put sticky notes on every goddamn thing I'm sure isn't a mimic. You?
Good. Safe inside the armory. Squashed a mimic that slipped in, but that's it. I got everything sealed tight.
What's our plan?
Rescue.
You know, if we make it, Alex is just going to pull our mods.
You want to remember this shit?
I think we could get out through the guts. Work our way up to the Arboretum.
Okay. Say the word.
Okay, so the next thing that you want to do is try to get through this door. And so I'd recommend making a quick save right here, just in case you don't have enough ammo and mess this up. But you're wanting to aim for the utilities over there, and then we're going to aim for the button to open the doors. And so that got it, and we can now go in here and retrieve our foam bolts. Lots of stuff in here. And so on Mitsuko Tokaji's computer, you will have emails number 79 and 80, didn't taste like chicken, and re-implant mirror neurons in Typhons. And you will also have your next transcribe. So this should be transcribe number 20.
In light of what we now know the Typhon are capable of, and not capable of, it seems prudent to revisit the Project Cobalt material.
Igor, neuromods can already adapt Typhon material to the human mind. There's no reason in principle the reverse wouldn't work.
Say you managed to insert human neurons into a Typhon. How will you know it was successful?
The new neural structures would need to mature over a series of actual experiences, or simulated ones.
What?
Simulate the experiences. Calvino, he has...
Right, okay, look, it's fascinating, but let's focus on what we know is working. I don't want anyone devoting resources to this.
Okay, so that was a surprise phantom. Very nice. Sometimes they will notice where you are from other places. So there are some that are milling about around here. There are some that are just kind of wandering. And so sometimes they'll sneak up on you. But shouldn't be too terrible. Next thing that we want to do is check out these 3 emails on Rory Mannion's computer. So these will be emails 81 through 83. Re-Mimic Theory, Dome Taker, and Mystery Man. And then you can deploy a null wave. Just kind of test out what that does. And you can play with those little tests if you want to. All the items in there.
There's something almost angelic about those golden filaments, like frozen light. The Typhon weave it out of the thin air. The question is why? We have a lot of theories, but no solid answers. Not yet. I wish you were with me, Morgan. Not the way you are now. The way you used to be. I know we could tackle this together. Like old times.
And so, after that, come through here.
Suit integrity damaged.
To destroy that mimic. And that takes us back around to where we came in. So the next thing that we want to do is make sure that there's no phantom. I believe that the phantom that was roaming the halls down here, or the halls up here, was the one that came and tried to kill us earlier. There is another one that appears downstairs. I'm not sure where he's gotten off to. Oh, there he is. I'm going to keep an eye on him. But you want to use your glue gun to build yourself some platforms, because the next body that we're going to want to locate is up here. There's also a bunch of mimics up here.
Vital signs critical.
I just knocked him completely off. Wonderful. Okay, so our next person is going to be Sanjay Puri, who is right there. That's crew member number 81. We also want to jump up here. We might need to build ourselves a little glue platform to jump on. Okay. And our next crew member is going to be Andrea Hudson, who's crew member number 82. Up here in the rafters. Okay. Head back to where we started from. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and eat some things. Just get some health back here. And get our suit integrity back. Okay. That mimic is very unhappy. Okay. So in Labs A, I'm gonna equip my shotgun here because we're gonna run into Phantom hiding in here. know how that second shot didn't kill her, but whatever. So, Helen Barker Combs, Helen Barker Combs is crew member number 83. And then you can dispatch a medical operator. And I like to scan these enemies because it after you scan them, it kind of gives you a little waypoint to where they are. So if you ever have trouble finding them again, it'll show you where they're at. We didn't really need that for the moment, but it's all good. Okay. So we have a mimic in here. And we have our next crew member, Evan Avery, crew member number 84. Okay, and so I'm gonna tell you guys some information. So, in this room in here, there's a corpse. I think there are 2 corpses. And there's a computer that's locked with a password and has an email on it. There's also 5 mimics, maybe more than 5, through that glue. If I would recommend saving this room for a little bit later on.
I didn't see you there.
You can go ahead and get those things from this room, but I'm not going to get them right now. I'm going to get them during my cleanup phase because there's a spot in the game where I'm going to try to get the Mimic Massacre achievement or trophy, and I'm going to show you that spot, and that's where we're going to get it in the guide. But just in case that spot doesn't work for you or it messes up, this is another good spot to come back to later on in the game, and you can try to get it here. So that's why I'm saving that. However, if you use this spot here, you want to make a save and then reload, because the way that you get the Mimic Massacre achievements or trophies is often using the recycler charges. And if you use the recycler charges in this room, it will sometimes recycle the bodies that you need to find, and so then you won't be able to find them. So anyway, it was just complicated, and so that is why I am not going to be going into that room just yet. So, like I said, you can go through there and get those couple of things, but I'd recommend just leaving it for later. You also can't get onto her computer until you have the ability to hack anyway, and since we're not doing upgrades right now, it's kind of pointless because you're going to have to come back through here later on anyway. So, that is my feeling about that room. And my reasoning for not going in there just yet. Alrighty. So now we're going to head on down and carry forward.
Hello, Dr. Yu.
Take a good look. Everything happening on Talos 1 started here. You were so driven in the beginning. My mistake was agreeing to put you at the center of the tests. That's when you began to drift away from me. We're close to understanding what they're after. What they're building. Just need a little more time.
I was afraid of this. The scientists here were in the middle of something when they died. Access to the guts is closed off during experiments. Security protocol. You'll have to finish what they started. Back in the 60s and 70s, the first research teams tried to communicate with the Typhon, but this proved impossible. Their cerebral structures are highly developed and intentional, but somehow unapproachable.
Okay, so this chipset is actually a really good one. So it helps you scan things quicker, which is great.
No language. They don't even seem to see us. Not like we see ourselves, I mean. I'm generalizing when I say us, of course. I'm not a person. Not like you.
Live exam procedure in progress. Local lockdown.
So we're going to be locked down here until we finish this exam process. But first, we're going to find Ruby Stone right here, crew member number 85. I'd recommend making a quick save here, just in case something goes awry. We're going to want to use our pistol for this, because you want to try to stay away from the voltaic phantom that's about to happen. Okay, so we're gonna open the containment shield, and when we do that, we're gonna have this weaver that we can scan. And we're also going to be able to scan this voltaic phantom that was the volunteer. Okay.
People are quick to project human features onto things they don't understand. The Typhon kill us without hesitation, but it's not because they're evil. It's because they can't do otherwise. You know what we discovered? They lack mirror neurons. For all their wonderful abilities, there's one thing we can do that they can't. Empathize with the suffering of another living creature.
Okay, so V-11 or V-122-854-12 is crew member number 86. And we have our engineering operator in here that can restore your shields, which is cool. And we're going to head on down to the morgue. So there are a few hiding mimics in here. Okay. Mimic. Stop that. Okay, so we have our anti-rad fabrication plan, lots of stuff, and we have Demian Lynn's computer here, which has our next two emails, 84 and 85, I'm an idiot, and mod malfunctions. In this room, if our operator will allow us to go through the door, you'll find crew member number 87, Mitsuko Tokaji, right there. Lots of little goodies in the morgue. And last thing that we're gonna do here is get into this room. And so we don't have a key code for the morgue, but we do have our Huntress Boltcaster. And so we're going to need to knock a hole into the glass right there. And for whatever reason, you can't select that. And we're going to kill this mimic. Little butthole. Stop being so slippery. Okay. So we're going to equip our Huntress Boltcaster, and we're going to fire through this window at the door to open that up. And you should be able to pick up your foam dart if you can find where it is. If not, no worries, you should have bunches of those. And in this room, you're going to find a bunch of people. So you're going to have Sylvain Bellamy here on the table, little cart thing. And he has the key card to his cabin, which is cool.
This isn't the first time a Typhon organism has broken containment. It happened before, shortly after your initial neuromod tests. You and Alex fought about terminating the project, evacuating, but Alex insisted he could control the situation. That's when you began implementing secret contingencies, hiding the plan for your arming key, videos, the January protocol. Your concerns have proven to be correct.
It's the key card for the morgue right there. Not that you need it, since you've already opened the door. But in any case, there are also several more crew members in here. There's 7 other volunteers. So we have V091855-04. We have another volunteer that's in here that if you just kind of walk up to this glass, you'll have found them. You have V-122255-07 right there. You have another volunteer that's up here through this glass that you just need to get near. And when you come around here, you have V-103155-06, V-09175503, and a couple more through the glass here. And so a total of 8 individuals in this room, including Sylvain. And so you just want to check your data after you get through here to make sure that you found all of those. You should be at 95 crew members, TranStar crew members and visitors located. So we are right on track right there. And we're going to carry forward. Okay, we're going to head back up. And we are going to go into the next room. There's going to be a couple enemies. If you just kind of hang back, those turrets should kill them all. Okay. Yep. Okay, so when you come into material extraction,
Hey, over here.
you will be able to find your next couple of crew members. So we've got Christine Lloyd, who is crew member number 96. She also has Transcribe number 21 on her corpse.
I don't mean to be a nuisance, but when do you think we'll get to that breach?
I'm headed out there as we speak.
What do you think happened?
Hard to say until I lay eyes on it. Could be some micrometeoroids punched a hole. Rare, but it happens.
Okay, good. Hopefully... it's just that.
Is there something you're not telling me?
No, of course not. It's just that storage room has classified exotic materials. We really can't have it be inaccessible.
I understand.
And so there's going to be a couple of phantoms in here. This is open. That started a new side quest. But it should be open already because we already plugged up that hole when we were outside. And so you can come in here and loot all of the exotic material, of which there is a lot, from this area. So that's pretty cool. That Typhon plasma, you can create some more exotic material. And that should be everything in here. I think there's maybe a couple of food items in those rooms, but nothing major. So, the next thing that we want to do is...
What, you need guns? Ammo? I saw one of them science types go into that armory. Saw him punching the code. You get me out of here.
So we're going to open the door for Mr. Aaron Ingram.
Aaron. Now that's what I'm talking about. Some human decency, friend.
Okay, so we can talk to him.
You're the one person that showed me any real kindness, and you can believe I won't forget it. If you still want that code, it's 8714.
Okay, so we have the code for this armory door. 8714. And so this guy's name is Aaron Ingram. I think you can, if you request his personnel record, it's interesting. But yeah, his name is Aaron Ingram. I don't know why it didn't come up this time. Maybe I just didn't let him finish talking, and that's why. But he is crew member number 97. And once you go into this room, you can find, along with some stuff, crew member number 98, Demian Lynn. And so that is pretty cool.
Ooh, lots of good stuff in here.
A couple of fabrication plans.
I'm sure he wasn't a good man, but you freed him anyway. I'm curious if it was compassion, or was there some other motive? I can only act in ways that advance my directive. The Typhon can only kill and destroy, but you're human. You have a choice.
Also this turret here that we can kind of set up to hopefully keep this guy alive. When I was doing my practice run, he died. He was dead when I came back through here. And I'm not really sure why that is. But I'm going to also leave him this pistol, because why not? I don't have enough space for it anyway. So we'll leave that for him. But that is the end of Psychotronics. So plug up some of these holes. Masterful job there, Dormouse. Masterful job. just so that we can run through here freely. You can also, if you aren't going to be freeing him, you can also use your Huntress Boltcaster through here. What you'll need to do is create something to stand on. And so this one is a little bit too high, so you'll have to make one on the floor right here with your little platform with your glue, and then crouch on top of it, and then you can just barely hit the button in there. So anyway, I'm going to be running around through here and picking up all the rest of the stuff that I haven't picked up. I'll go ahead and kill this phantom for you guys to see. And I'm going to recycle everything. Pick up all of the ammo and stuff and create some more inventory space and whatnot. So I'm going to do all of that. But you guys don't need to witness me doing that. I'm going to kill this mimic though. Little booger. And then after I do all of my cleanup and stuff, I'll be headed to the guts. And so we're going to get to the guts by going through here.
Eradicator auto turrets. TranStar's last-ditch defense against an outbreak. Flimsy, but they're easy to fabricate. Best part is the built-in psychoscope tech. They can discriminate between alien and human targets. Shouldn't be a problem for you, since you're not an alien.
Okay, so you'll hit this to travel to the guts, and I will see you there after I do a little sweep and pick up everything and recycle stuff. I will meet you in the guts for episode 6. So where we are with our stats, we have 26 food and drink items consumed because we haven't found any new things. We have 98 crew and visitors located. We have 85 emails read. We have 21 transcribes messages listened to. And we found 2 Starbender books. And we've still got those 2 Morgan messages that we had found before this episode, and the 3 black market drop locations that we found before this episode. So that's where we're at with stats. And make sure that you are on par. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys.